Hi, welcome to After Hours. This is our content specifically for our premium members, and today I want to tell you about Denmark Vesey. Now, Denmark Vesey was the man who inspired Robert Smalls to try to buy his freedom, and Vesey was born in 1767. He was purchased as a young boy by a man named Joseph Vesey, therefore the last name, and was brought into Charleston. Now, Vesey, around 32 years old, so in the late 1790s, was able to come across a street lottery. Somehow, some way, was able to win this street lottery. We don't know how. The sources I found weren't super clear on it, but he was able to win a street lottery, and at 32 years old, he was able to buy his freedom for the price of $600. And in today's terms, that's well over 12 grand, $12,000 to $15,000. Pretty mind-boggling to think of, especially, I mean, when you're a slave and you don't make any money, to try to come up with thousands of dollars in terms of today's money is just unbelievable to think about. But Vesey was able to do it. And in his freedom, he tried to reshape himself and try to really support his black community. He became a preacher at a church known as Emmanuel Church in Charleston, and he was also a well-known carpenter as well. But Vesey is particularly known also, and this also fed into Robert Smalls' ideology, for a slave uprising. In 1822, a slave uprising was uprooted by the authorities because there were two particular people who leaked information within the slaves that were involved in the plan. Now, the plot could have been as many as 1,000 to 9,000 slaves being a part of this uprising. And to get to the bare bones of it, here was the plan. On Bastille Day, which was the beginning of the French Revolution, in 1822 was going to be the start of a new slave revolution in which Vesey and others would kill whatever white masters were, hailing over them, free the town of Charleston, and then sail to Haiti. And why Haiti? Because in 1791, Haiti was the only country to actually have a successful slave uprising and take the country for themselves. And now it was a free black state. It was a black paradise, essentially, in the eyes of former slaves. Even American free blacks had gone to Haiti because there was a promise of land there for them to help develop the country. And it was, like I said, like a free black state. What better could it be? And this was the idea that Vesey wanted. He wanted to create a new Haitian revolution, but this time in Charleston, because Charleston was one of the most brutal of the areas in terms of the treatment of the slaves. It was a major port city. It was in South Carolina, which was the first state to secede from the Union and try to protect its, slave institutions at the time. And so as they're getting ready and, this purported conspiracy is coming together so that they can try to free themselves, the authorities caught wind from the two supposed slaves that had leaked the information. And as a result, 60 plus members were arrested, 30 plus members were executed, and among them was Denmark Vesey. Now, that's pretty legendary to think of. And Denmark Vesey was executed in 1822, the same year that the plan was supposed to happen. And Robert Smalls was born in 1839, 17 years later. So he knew of this legend. And he lived in South Carolina, so this was really well known to the slaves around there. They probably could have thought to themselves, oh, how wonderful it would be if that had worked out. Oh, how blissful it could be if we were in Haiti instead of here. Oh, how fantastic it would be if he wasn't executed. And this was the world that he was shaped in. Now, as a result of this slave revolt that happened, Charleston got brutal in the laws that were passed after, particularly one which was known as the Seaman Acts of 1822. Now, that restricted black sailors, whether you were free or enslaved, greatly in your movements around the area of Charleston. Particularly the Seaman Acts of 1822 required that black sailors, free black sailors may I add, were required to be imprisoned while in Charleston as long as they were in harbor. What? I mean, we've heard of Jim Crow laws, but this is just a whole nother set of brutal, right? This is still slave-owning South Carolina at the time, right? So this is the world that Robert grew up in. And hearing the stories of Denmark Vesey, a man who was able to buy his freedom, oh my gosh, what a legend. And then be able to become a leader, a folk hero for these people, to be one of the leaders for a slave revolt, to hopefully bring this fantasy to reality. Well, Robert embodied that truly, Because when he found his freedom, sure, he wasn't able to buy it. But when he found his freedom by going to the harbor, by stealing the SSS Planner, by capturing it for the Union, then becoming a hero, then coming back to the land that persecuted him and his family for so long, and being able to help free them. 17 battles he fought. And then even after the war ended, he said, I'm not done. Because what Denmark Vesey couldn't do, Robert Smalls could. He returned as a politician. And he set the standard. He set a black political paradise. That's by a government source, by the way. That's from the House Government History source of Robert Smalls. But he created a paradise, a black political paradise in his district. He was able to accomplish what Denmark Vesey couldn't. He ended up becoming the embodiment of everything that Denmark Vesey could have been. And that is what makes Robert Smalls so amazing and so wonderful. And the connection of these two characters, you know, the precursor to what Robert Smalls would be, is what makes the legend so incredible. And it's what makes this story so amazing. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this as well. Please feel free to check out our other After Hours videos for our other content. We're going to be coming out with plenty of more coming out here soon. Of course, for all of you guys, we also are going to have Behind the Bar, so please check those out. We're going to go through all of our classic cocktails there, and keep an eye out for our new episodes coming forth. As always, we love you guys, and remember, history is better with a drink.